Tech for Senior, episode 55. It is April the 12th, 2021, and I want to welcome everybody here. Thanks so much for coming. We have 99 people watching us and a whole bunch of people over on the streaming service. So as I've mentioned many times in the past, it's a volunteer organization, and what we get out of it is your enthusiasm, and for your support we continue on to do the shows and to continue with the programming. Thank you all for coming. As you know, we are streaming this to two services. One is through our Zoom meeting, which the 99 of you, or 100 of you are now participating in, and there's a bunch over on our YouTube service. So the meetings are a little bit, excuse me, just the meetings are a little bit different. Our Zoom meeting today is an action-packed one. We have lots of things to talk about and lots of things to do, and it will go on for an hour, and then the last 20 minutes will be question and answer. Over on our Zoom side, for those of you who are watching on the streaming service to Zoom, we will be the show will end it will end in about 50 minutes, and we will but they will all be recorded. The show is recorded for your pleasure, so that you can watch by the end of the day.
You said on Zoom, but you meant YouTube.
Yes, YouTube. Yes, it's being streamed over on YouTube, and it will be finished at in about 50 minutes, just before the music segment. Just to clarify, last week we had a bit of confusion. Well, at least I had a little bit of confusion. I wanted to stream it to both services, YouTube and Facebook, and because we do that on our Thursday morning show that we do called Tech for Senior Live, where Hewie and Bob and I get together and just have a bit of a chat. But we use a product called StreamYard, which makes it very easy to stream to different services. So I assumed on the button at the bottom here, when I clicked on it, it has an option for Facebook and YouTube. So the problem is it's one or the other, not both. To stream to both services would require additional software in the form of purchasing Restream, which is a third-party software, and that's just we're in the sort of thoughts about that and how it's all going to work and so on and so forth. So more of that to come a little bit later. Want to welcome everyone here, and certainly all the people on the show today. Hewie, where are you? There you are. Hi. Hewie, we have a busy week. What are we doing on Thursday?
Well, we're doing a couple of things. The first thing we're doing is just going to chat in our Tech for Senior Live.
Right.
Then we're going to take a little potty break, and then we're going to come back and do Learning Chromebooks.
Yeah, we had a busy day, eh? Now, how would one register for Learning Chromebooks if they haven't already done so?
They've got to go to a link that they can find in the newsletter or on our website. Or on my website, and go to that link, and they register, and they will be sent a link to the meeting that's just for them.
Right. And that would be, and if they have registered, you're going to be sending out a reminder today?
Yeah, I'm going to send out a reminder after our meeting, and then I'll send another one come Thursday.
Excellent. So we hope to see everybody. Either if you have a Chromebook or thinking about a Chromebook, come and listen to our talk. And for sure, if you want to have coffee, we will have coffee with you on Thursday morning. Bob, tell us who won the Masters.
Hideki, excellent golfer.
Yeah.
Hideki Yatsumama. I think I'm close.
Yeah. That was good. It was great. Yeah. And you've been busy buying up stuff on Amazon this week.
Not a whole lot, but I got a nice new toy I'm waiting for, and something that should be able to hook up to the camera on my phone. Something that's going to bring the mountain that's behind me a lot closer. I want to do some exploring and get some pictures up close. We'll see once it gets here, because it has a hookup directly to the camera on the phone.
Great. Well, I'm sure we'll hear all about it. I'm sure that you'll hear all about it. Ray, now tell me, have you got your seatbelt on with that new computer?
No, it's not that fast, but it's fast enough.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't want to do a clone copy of my old computer because I was having some issues with it and didn't want to bring them onto the new one. So I'm reloading it every day. I think, well, I'm finally done with getting every program I need, and I try to open up something, and nope, one more to go. So this hopefully by the next week I'll be all done.
There you go. And Dewey is on the road, as we shall say. He's on the move. He's in the car. Joanne is at the wheel. And man, he's a dedicated person. He says, I can't miss my Tech for Seniors. So he's on the road. And here is Dewey. What do you got to say? Can you hear us?
Well, I am riding in the car right now. My wife, Joanne, my sweetie, is driving down a toll road for a while. When we get on Interstate 25 here, we're in Denver, Colorado, North Denver, actually. We are at our son's house in Superior, Colorado, which is kind of southwest, I believe, of Boulder. We were in Boulder last night. As a matter of fact, we went to a special restaurant in Boulder called The Kitchen, and it's owned by Kimball Musk, who is the younger brother of Elon Musk. And Elon comes and visits his brother and has dinner at this restaurant periodically. But it was quite an evening, needless to say. Well, anyway, hope you have a great Tech for Seniors, and I'll be in the car watching and staying in touch. Bye-bye now.
Right. Say hello to Joanne.
Will do.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, so listen, the big news this week came on. Hewie, if you wanted to keep up to date on all the news and have it in one specific location, and where would you find that?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot, huh?
Would it be our Facebook page?
Yeah, it would definitely be our Facebook page,
It would
because
be our
that's where
Facebook.
that's because you're posting there, I'm posting there, Bob's posting there,
That's
and we're
right.
putting lots of good links and good information. So if you're on Facebook, that's a nice place to go visit.
Now, the big news of the day was that Microsoft bought Nuance, which is a company that makes Dragon Natural Speaking, for $16 billion, not million, billion dollars. Now, why that's significant is well, Dewey and I go back a long way, and we like to talk about this, but I wanted to let you know that Dragon Naturally Speaking was developed in the 80s by a person by the name of Baker. Let's see, James Baker. And I actually met him because back in the 80s was when I became partner in a software company that made medical software. And my job was to teach doctors how to use Dragon Naturally Speaking. This is way before, just when PCs came in. And I went to Dragon School in California and learned all about the speech recognition and so on and so forth. And then my job was to teach. Now, I think it was about the year 2000 was excuse me, Baker, I don't know why they wanted to sell. It wasn't, the business was getting bigger and they couldn't really manage it. And they sold it to a Belgian company called Lerner and Hosp. And I don't remember what they paid, but Baker took they took it in stock. They took the sale of this company, which was, of course, a very upstarting company. They took the sale in stock, and it ended up being all fraud. The whole thing was all fraud, and they basically lost everything. And there wasn't, and it was, the company was in shambles, and the courts were arguing over this, and nobody wanted to buy this little company, right? And I said to my board of directors because it was not out of reach of our company, I said, we should buy this. I mean, it was going for like 5 cents on the dollar, but nobody wanted it. Well, another company bought it called Scansoft, and ultimately kept it for many years, and of course promoted it, and it became Nuance. Nuance merged with Scansoft, and today it just sold for $16 billion. So this morning, as I was brushing my teeth and thinking about life, I thought, I wonder if we bought the company, if where we'd be today. Anyway, that was my thought. Anyway, listen, I've blabbed on enough. Bob, are you ready to roll?
As soon as you stop talking, I'll be happy to start doing. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending April 9th, 2021. Cyber attack targets EU institutions. According to Bloomberg, a spokesperson for the European Commission confirmed that a number of European Union organizations experienced an IT security incident in their IT infrastructure last week, adding that no major information breach had been detected yet. The spokesperson would not supply further details on the attack as the investigation is still in its initial stage. An inside source told Bloomberg that the attacks were bigger than average and serious enough to warrant an alert issued to all Commission senior officials. Another anonymous source said the Commission staff had recently been warned about potential phishing attempts, which suggests the attack may have been expected. Government institutions have to face way more risks than the average user, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. On top of the day-to-day attacks, they hold valuable information that is a target to cybercriminal groups and foreign intelligence agencies. Android malware promising free Netflix did not provide free Netflix. Surprise, surprise. You never know what you'll find on the Google Play Store, but if you see an app promising free Netflix, please ignore it and borrow a family member's account like the rest of us. An app called Flix Online sat on the Play Store for 2 months promising free Netflix, and naturally it managed to dump malware on around 500 devices. Yes, we all deserve free Netflix for reason of quarantine, but you're not going to find free Netflix on the App Store or anywhere outside of genuine Netflix trial for that matter. This was discovered by Checkpoint and reported it to Google. Google has taken down the app. While this Flix Online malware may seem like a simple worm, it could also be used to pull personal data from victims' phones or hijack other apps. If you downloaded Flix Online, you should delete the app and change the password for all accounts that you accessed on your phone. Maybe now's a good time to generate secure login info with a password manager and lock down your account with two-factor authentication. Google begins trials of new ad targeting tech. This week, Google began testing its new ad targeting tech known as the Federated Learning of Cohorts, FLoC. This is a random selection of Google Chrome users. The new tech is intended to replace cookies, assigning each user a FLoC ID number instead, which informs advertisers of the user's behavioral patterns over the previous week, including the websites that were visited. The Chrome users participating in the trial do not know they are participating, and the only way to opt out is to turn off third-party cookies in the browser's settings. Watchdog group Electronic Frontier Foundation strongly criticizes the new tech. Read more on the EFF website. Malware hidden in Call of Duty cheat. Activision published a report this week warning users that hackers have been disguising malware as a cheat for Call of Duty Warzone. The game is free to play and hosts millions of users. The malware installs a dropper on the user's system, which is then poised to receive more malware from its command and control center. The anonymous source told Vice that one of the malware's goals is to hijack the user's computer power and use it to mine cryptocurrency. The hackers selling the malware even posted a tutorial video on YouTube to teach attackers how to use it. In the last year, Activision has banned over 80,000 cheaters from Call of Duty Warzone. Arguments for and against regulating Google. Tech giant Google is embroiled in 3 antitrust lawsuits, including one brought by the U.S. Department of Justice, which alleges the company acts like a monopoly and elbows out competition. The Land of the Giants podcast recently devoted an episode to discussing the pros and cons of breaking up Google. According to Vox, supporters of regulating Google believe that the internet titan has amassed too much influence over daily life and the economy, and that people are essentially forced to use its products. Those against any new regulations claim that because Google's products are largely free, they are beneficial to consumers, and tighter restrictions could stymie some of Google's greatest innovations. The Facebook data leak and what you should do about it today. Over the holiday weekend, we learned that over 500 million Facebook users' personal data, including phone numbers, was leaked online. Facebook themselves confirmed the leak, saying that it was a result of a vulnerability they fixed back in 2019. While the vulnerability and the theft may seem old news because it was nearly 2 years ago, the development means Facebook users whose data was stolen in 2019 are at greater risk now because of the leak and should take steps today to better protect themselves from it. The reports indicate the data includes phone numbers, Facebook ID, full names, locations, birthdays, biographical information, and some email addresses for users from around the world. The loss of phone numbers associated with the email is particularly worrisome. The odds are good that for many people, their phone number and email combinations are the same for that of SMS-based codes to log in to those same email accounts. This means those users are at increased risk for attackers to try SIM swapping, to redirect SMS-based codes to devices under their control and get access to the target's email. Because email accounts are where I forgot my password resets go, this is the easiest, most efficient, and effective way for attackers to take over your digital life by first hijacking your email account and then using that to take over your other accounts. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, thanks, Bob. That's looks like the bad guys are still on track. All right, let's move on and see what Dewey has to say. We will come over here and let's see what Dewey has to say.
Can I mention something just before you pop the click there?
Sure.
You were talking about the sale of Nuance Corporation to Microsoft, and it's Nuance that provides the technology that Apple uses with its Siri voice to text operation. So I just thought I'd bring that.
Thanks a lot.
Good morning, friends. This is Dewey, and I'm coming to you today from our son's house in Superior, Colorado, which is the northern Denver suburb. It's directly southeast of Boulder, which is in the valley behind my head. So those of you familiar with this area might recognize at the extreme upper right of my background a mountain peak called Long's Peak. Well, my Tech Talk topic for today is ATSC 3.0, also known as Next Gen TV. So what is ATC 3.0? ATSC 3.0. ATSC stands for the Advanced Television Systems Committee, an industry-sponsored group that sets standards for over-the-air broadcast TV as approved by the US FCC. ASTC 3.0 represents a major leap over the current 1.0 standard for antenna users. From this point on, I'll simply call these two standards 3.0 and 1.0. In January 2020, ATSC welcomed the news that the ITU, International Telecommunications Union, has adopted 3.0 as a recommended digital broadcast standard for the world, in effect, paving the way for countries around the world to evaluate and use the IP-based digital broadcast standard. 3.0 greatly expands flexibility and adaptability for broadcasters, allowing them to transmit data that will both enhance TV broadcasts and provide new revenue opportunities. For your information, 1.0 is the designation used retroactively to describe the first digital standard developed by the ATSC around 1996. Or 92, I believe, which ushered in the revolution of the HDTV, high definition television and broadcast surround sound that we enjoy today. In Canada, broadcasters are not mandated by the CRTC, which is the Canadian Radio and Television Commission, to deliver 3.0. The same is true in the US. However, the FCC has partially subsidized and incentivized the adoption of 3.0, so it will be going forward in the US. And what is Next Gen TV? Next Gen TV is the ATSC's name used to promote the 3.0 standard worldwide. Next Gen's logo is shown at the right. 3.0 Next Gen TV's standards include Ultra HD 4K video, HDR, high dynamic range, high frame rates up to 120 hertz and more. Proponents also claim better TV reception indoors, and if the cellular industry approves, on your phone as well. Next Gen TV also provides consistent volume across channels, while Voice Plus dialogue enhancement allows one to hear all the voices clearly. It uses the same standard TV antennas available today, and Next Gen TV is free. Good news. Next Gen TV is incompatible, that's bad news, with tuners in present-day TV sets. Fortunately, 3 major TV manufacturers, LG, Samsung, and Sony, have been offering TVs that include a 3.0 standard tuner since 2020 and are expanding their offerings through 2021 and beyond. Most, if not all, new TVs in the future will have tuners that accommodate both the newer 3.0 and the present TV 1.0 standards for at least 5 years. As Next Gen TV becomes more and more popular here and worldwide, other TV manufacturers are expected to join LG, Samsung, and Sony in offering compatible TVs. Another option for receiving Next Gen TV with your present TV is to purchase an external 3.0 tuner. These currently cost around $200, but prices are expected to drop to a fraction of that as 3.0 TVs proliferate. According to atsc.org, which you can go to and get a lot of very current information, viewers in South Korea have been enjoying 4K video and immersive audio via 3.0 since 2017. The US rollout, for the most part, began early last year. With a focus on the top 10 Nielsen markets, Next Gen TV is expected to increase implementation in more than 80 US cities by the end of 2021 and will cover more than 70% of the US population. That's pretty big. Here's a US map showing the fledgling status of Next Gen TV through this year. This map, if you look at it, first notice the orange areas. Orange are the areas that are now on the air with Next Gen TV or ATSC 3.0. The blue areas are readying broadcasts at this time and hopefully will be on the air by the end of the year. And the black areas have been announced as target markets, and some of them will make it this year or perhaps next year. Many next-gen TV features have not yet been implemented, but it's still quite early. Timeline-wise, we're perhaps 15 to 20 years behind if we use the HGTV rollout for comparison. That started back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Those early days of HGTV were rocky at best and weren't seen by many people, thankfully. Also similar to those early HGTV broadcast days, there's very little content at Ultra HD 4K video resolution at this time. There's a potential downside to internet-based next-gen TV because TV broadcasters can track your viewing habits to gain information for targeted advertising, just like companies such as Google, Facebook, and Amazon do today. I'll be telling you more about that in part 2 of this presentation. Meanwhile, here's some other general information on HDTV. If you presently receive your TV from streaming, cable, or satellite, next-gen TV will affect you very little, if at all, perhaps mainly in TV subchannels. Transition to 3.0 standards by TV broadcast stations is voluntary, though many stations, as shown earlier on the US map, are already in process. Stations adding next-gen TV are required to continue broadcasting the older 1.0 TV for 5 years. How will next-gen TV work in your home? The simplest description is an antenna connected to your TV gets you better free TV, but that's selling next-gen TV way short. Since next-gen TV is primarily internet protocol based, on the internet, it can be used just like today's smartphones, tablets, and computers and internet-connected TVs. One example of how this might work is having your TV antenna connected to a tuner box and not connected directly to your TV. That makes it more expandable to other devices. Unlike the switch over to digital broadcast TV a dozen years ago, the FCC has not granted over-the-air TV broadcasters new bandwidth during the 3.0 rollout. They had to have that so they could have both systems simultaneously for a while. Consequently, broadcasters will need to temporarily share transmitters. 2 or more stations will combine to use one tower for 1.0 broadcasts and also combine to use another tower for their 3.0 next-gen broadcasts. Quality may suffer a bit, however, but it'll be temporary. One of next-gen TV's more controversial features is a return data path, a way for the station you're watching to know you're watching. This creates the opportunity for every marketer's dream, targeted ads. Ah, yes, targeted ads. I'll be telling you more about that and other next-gen TV stuff in part 2 of this presentation next week. In the meantime, stay safe, have a great day, and we'll see you next week. And I'm sticking with it.
Well done. Well done. Dewey has presented that from the car. There you go. All right, I'm going to start my segment now, and we'll talk about, this is the first of 3 parts on virtual reality, and we'll look at that now.
It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Today's topic is virtual reality for seniors. Now you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like and also subscribe to the channel. It really helps our channel and people wanting to watch this video. Let's get on with the show. Now this presentation is going to be in 3 parts. The first part will be the history of virtual reality. Part 2 is what can you buy in 2021? The hardware. We'll look at the hardware associated with virtual reality. Part 3 will be what should seniors use virtual reality for? Now let's look at the history of virtual reality. Where did it all start? What can we define as virtual reality? And let's look at Holland in 1881. The man's name was Hendrik Willem Mesdag. But if we were not so strict and we could argue that virtual reality goes back to the 19th century, let's look what could have happened in 1881. This was the year that the panorama Mesdag was finished. Now this is a very large painting. It's a cylindrical panorama painting of approximately 14 meters high and set up with a circumference around 120 meters. The painting is one of the oldest 19th century panoramas in the world. It is a view of the North Sea, the dunes, the Hague, and as Scheveningen. Excuse my Dutch. Now, as Rembrandt is associated with Amsterdam and Vermeer is with Delft, so Mesdag is associated with The Hague. Mesdag was born in Holland in 1831 and later moved to The Hague with his wife. He was considered an influential man in the art world of The Hague. And he was an important painter and a member on a lot of arts council. The contract for painting this panorama came from Belgium, where such paintings were a huge trend. Mesdag didn't actually paint this all by himself. He painted this with his wife. He painted it with students and other people who helped him paint this very large painting. And this could arguably be the first virtual reality painting that we have. And if you go to The Hague today, there's a large museum. And you'll see in this picture people coming up in the center of the museum and looking at 360-degree view right around. Pretty impressive. You could always argue that in 1939, this also could have been the first virtual reality. This was invented in 1839. This 3D illusion was achieved by lining up two mirrors to reflect two images, as photography had not yet progressed to have images, so they appeared as drawings. And so this is how you had a 3D image in 1839. Now in 1939, Sawyer Incorporated was one of the largest color postcard producers of the time. And it streamlined the device even more by taking color images, and we had Kodachrome film then, and making it available by placing them between two discs. In other words, 14 images for 7 stereo views. And then you inserted this disc into a special viewer and eventually became known as a Viewmaster later on. And this was a device that was a big hit in 1939 at the World's Fair. And as Sawyer Incorporated was a postcard company, the first reels were a series of travel-related images of the Grand Canyon and Carlsbad Caverns. Now, Sawyer Incorporated acquired True Vision, a competing stereo manufacturer, and the rights to use Walt Disney Studio characters in their reels was obtained. A year later, in 1952, a home use camera was even sold so families could make their own reels. Several models of the Viewmaster were developed, including a model known for illumination. In 1962 saw the arrival of the modern Viewmaster. Model E was streamlined and now made of lighter plastic, and we have a picture of it here. I'm sure we all had one of those when we were way back when. Now in 1962, the first immersive experience happened. Fast forward when the machine was introduced, known as one of the earliest examples of immersive multi-sensor technologies. This way the machine was capable of triggering all the senses in an effective manner. And the experience was about riding on a motorcycle through the New York streets while feeling the wind blowing through your hair, hearing the sounds of the city, and inhaling the smells of the city. And here you have a picture of the Sensorama in 1962, one of the first virtual reality machines that we had. A few years later, it was 1968. The most people argue as the year the first head-mounted display was developed. This head-mounted display was entitled HeadSight and was made for helicopter pilots in the military. Head movements would move a remote camera, allowing the user to naturally look around in the camera. And here's an example of that. But the HeadSight was not actually developed for virtual reality applications. It was mostly a military application. And it wasn't until 1987 when a man by the name of John Lanier used the term virtual reality for the first time when he developed VR gear, virtual reality gear. Now, during the 1990s to the 2000s, there was certainly a decrease in popularity of virtual reality. During the 1990s, Jaron Lanier, but also Tom Zimmerman, marketed a range of virtual reality gear. However, the hype around the technology had an adverse effect and led to a decrease in popularity. Don't know if anybody remembered some of the early machines we had, and this is one that never really had much popularity. This was called Virtual Boy, and it came out by Nintendo. Now, between the year 2000 and 2010, not much worth mentioning happened when it comes to head-mounted displays. However, some technologies related to virtual reality, such as Google Street View, that eventually was supported 3D, were developed in this period. Now, really between 2010 and 2015, virtual reality was reborn. In 2010, things started to get moving again. A man by the name of Palmer Luckey designed the first prototype of the Oculus Rift in his garage. Remember Bill Gates? Remember that story? And in 2012, they presented the first example of the Oculus Rift for the E3 gaming trade show. Well, in 2013 and 2014, Oculus shipped their first and second development kits ordered through their Kickstarter project. But it wasn't until 2014 Oculus was purchased by Facebook. Sony also announced a VR headset that was later going to become the PlayStation. Palmer Luckey didn't win the lottery, but he did suddenly find himself with a life-changing amount of money when he sold his startup to Facebook for over $2 billion when he was just 21 years old. Luckey is the co-founder of Oculus, the virtual reality technology company that makes the Rift VR headset. Between 2015 and 2020, we saw a rise in virtual reality. In 2015, HTC combined with a company called Valve and announced the HTC Vive headset with controllers and base station to allow for positional tracking using infrared light. In 2016, HTC was ready to ship its first unit called the HTC Vive Stream VR headset. This was the first commercial release of a sensor-based tracking which allowed for free movement of the users within a predefined space in their own living room. In 2017, Sony filed a patent that indicated they were developing a similar location tracking technology as the Vive for their PlayStation virtual reality. It also showed potential for the development of a wireless VR headset. And of course, in 2018, Oculus launched their first commercially available VR headset, which has a built-in screen that was affordable. There are many companies making virtual reality products, but if you go to Best Buy, you really have one of three choices. You'll have a choice of the Vive HTC, the Quest 2, the Oculus Quest 2, or the PlayStation VR. Well, there is one more. This is made by Microsoft. This is the HoloLens 2. It's not found at Best Buy. In fact, you can only buy it from Microsoft. And that's because it's $3,500. Yikes! Anyway, we'll be talking a little bit about that in one of our later videos. HoloLens is the most comfortable mixed reality device with industry-leading solutions that deliver an immersive experience, all enhanced by reality, security, and scalability of cloud and AI services from Microsoft. We'll be hearing a lot more about the HoloLens 2 this year. Well, as they say, stay tuned for part 2. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors.
All righty. Hewie, are you ready?
Of course. To paste formatted text as plain text in Windows 10. I'm Hewie Poplock. I may not be the typical person, but I find myself often wanting to copy text from an article or a website and put it in a document and have my own formatting, not their formatting, because it may not be the fonts I want. It may have bolding, it may have paragraph markings, it may be intermixed with some graphics. There may be a lot of reasons I want to change the formatting. I found an article this past week and I started to look at it, and I was going to use it as the basis of this presentation, but I found that a lot of things didn't work the way they explained it. Let's take a look at the article. How to paste as plain text in Windows 10. And here's an area. Let's just take this, how to paste, and we're going to copy this. When we copy it, if we paste it now into a Word document, let's paste it with Control V, and I do it, and here's what it looks like in my document. That's not how I want it to be. Judging by the article, one of the ways in which we can do that is using the Control-Shift-V. We've already copied it, so when we bring our document over and we do a Control-Shift-V, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't work. According to the article, this is their #1 way of doing this. What are our alternatives? What can we do? Well, so I jumped down to the second item, and it said using the paste special key. And when I do that, that's not there either. Windows has changed in the way they do things. So we've got a couple of choices here that we're going to have to change a little bit. The third is by using Notepad, and I use this trick a lot. And let's go ahead and let me show you what I mean. We're going to open up a Notepad. And Notepad, if you're not familiar with it, is just that. It's a Notepad. It's a non-formatting text editor. So if I paste into this, it's exactly what I want. Text that's not formatted. Then I can copy it again, and now I'm going to bring my Word document over. I'm going to paste it into my Word document, Control V, and you can see that it's unformatted. Now I can say, okay, let's do this. Let's make this a heading. Let's go ahead and make this a different font. I like that one. I don't, but I'll use it anyway. And let's say we're going to make it 26. And so we've got that, and then we can make this italic. And then we're going to go ahead and bullet point, not number it like it was. And then we have a bullet. So we've done our own formatting. That's why you might want to do something like this. So that's one way, using Notepad as an intermediary. Copy and paste into Notepad, copy and paste from Notepad to whatever, whether it be a Word document, your email program, Gmail, Outlook, whatever. So number 3 works. Number 4 probably works, but I don't use the clipboard. I use a program called Clipmate, which keeps track of all of these things. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to bring Clipmate over to show you what I see with Clipmate. And there's a long list. It maintains a whole list of all of the clips that I've done, all of the copying that I've done. You'll notice this mark right here. It says remove line breaks between paragraphs. Press Control to remove all the line breaks and so on. So what I can do is, when we go to Word, let's take the original document, and we're going to take, again, this area right here. And then when we bring over our Word document, Clipmate program, the program that I use called Clipmate, and I have done a recording of how to use and what Clipmate is, and I'll put that in the notes. But if I click, all I do is click that one button, and I don't know if you noticed down here, it changed it from the fact that there were some links and so on to a little notepad. Now when I go and I just click Control V, it's already stripped out. Not only is it stripped out all of the format, it's even stripped out the paragraph marks and so on. Now there's some other ways. Now remember, it said here that we should be able, let me move this out, and said, remember I said through the keyboard shortcut, and it doesn't work. Well, there's some ways around that. It is long and tedious, but you can do it. In Word, what we have to do is go to File, go to Options down at the bottom, then go to Advanced, then down here where it says Cut, Copy, and Paste, you'll see some areas here. One is pasting from other programs. That's what we're going to do. That's what we want to, so we want to keep text only. We click that and click OK. We can save this. Now, if we copy this and then go to our document, we should see, we do a Control V, it's doing it that way because we're doing it from another document. The problem with this is, what if I want to use the format in another document? I've got to go back and undo what I just did as a setting in Word. So let's see what else we can do. We can also try a third-party program that was recommended in the article that I was using. I am not familiar with the program, but if we click on this and go to Pure Text, there is a free program which will allow us to install the program and then be able to set up a set of keystrokes to take care of whenever we want to do this. We do a Control V and paste. We've got our document that we're reproducing. You'll notice down here there is a control key. There's paste options. When you click on that, you've got several things that you can do. The first one being keep your source formatting, which is what we're seeing here. The next one would be merge formatting, and it'll look like this. Or you can do this, which is use destination styles. So whatever your formatting is in the document you're pasting it to, it would pick that up. Or keep text only, and you can click there. That's probably the quickest and easiest thing to do. So don't forget this little box that pops up every time you paste something. Look at the paste options. And then set your default paste so you can set a default and then always change it to something else. Happy pasting. I'm Hewie Poplock. And I did want to say that Bob G reminded me there is another way when you're copying something. If you right mouse click the options, that same little box is in your options within a long list. And I didn't have that in the art within my presentation.
Thanks, Hewie. Bob, did you have something for us?
Want to share a little battery saving tip. If you have a newer smartphone and it has 5G set as its main way of connecting, but you happen to live in an area where 5G isn't available, you're wasting lots of battery power. 5G means it's constantly scanning to find that 5G network that just doesn't exist. I happen to be on a Pixel 5, and the easiest way to get to your settings is to scroll from the top down and then scroll again, press on the little star on the toward the bottom. That's your settings. Once you get to your settings, go to network and internet. Next, check on mobile network, and then scroll down until you see preferred network type. As you see here on mine, it says 5G recommended. Select preferred network type to bring up the following menu. But I don't have 5G. I have no clue when I'll get 5G. But if 5G is selected, and that's selected by default, it's constantly searching for a 5G network that is nowhere to be found. LTE is what I have, and LTE is what I'll now change it to. And once that's done, if you look here, your preferred network type is now LTE. No more looking for 5G that doesn't exist. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps.
Thanks, Bob. That's great. Ray, I'm just going to be signing off on the YouTube live stream, and maybe you'll be up next. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone who are on our streaming service. We're going to be ending the broadcast for you today. We will see you again next week, same time, same place, same everything. And you can come in or listen to us on Thursday morning for our little coffee talk. Anyway, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Okay, Ray.
All right, let's see. This is the first time I'm trying this on my new computer with 2 screens. Before, I've only used 1 screen. So let's hope I get it on the right one here. Can you see that?
Yep, looks good. It's great.
Okay. Okay. Here's a song I had known for a while, but did not really know the history. So let me just make a comment at first. And maybe it's me, but in this 21st century now, I'm finding it more and more difficult every time I hear music to tell the difference in genres between rock music and country music. Now you might say, hey, what does a guy born and raised in New York City know about country music? Well, I think I know. There's supposed to be a fiddle and a banjo in there somewhere. The song Wagon Wheel has an interesting history. The chorus and melody come from a demo titled Rock Me Mama, written and recorded by Bob Dylan during the filming of the 1973 movie he was in. The title of that movie was Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Dylan's version was never officially released, although a bootleg copy did appear years later. Now, fast forward to 2004, and Ketch Secor, and I heard in an interview, Ketch that's an unusual name. How many people do we know with the first name of Ketch? That was actually a family name that he was given. So Ketch Secor had a band called, and does have today, Old Crow Medicine Show. That's the name of the band, Old Crow Medicine Show. And he decided to write the verses for the song, but continuing to use Dylan's original chorus and melody. Well, Wagon Wheel has now become the signature song for this band. And while Dylan and Secor have legally agreed to be co-writers, all concur the roots and inspiration go back to early 20th century blues songs. So Wagon Wheel has taken on an international flavor as well. In 2012, English, Irish singer Nathan Carter released his version. But by far the most popular belongs to Darius Rucker, reaching #1 on the country charts and #15 on the Billboard Hot 100 in early 2013. So the clip I'm going to show today is from the 2013 American Music Festival. And for me, this is what modern country music should sound like.
Thanks, Ray. Hey,
Yahoo!
whoa, I really like your new computer. That was so clear.
Really?
Oh,
good.
absolutely.
really
Great.
Wow, it was Ray. That was night and day between the last. Throw that old thing you have away. Get rid of it. That's really
All
good.
right. You always ask for a toe tapper, so that was
Yeah,
for you.
that was really that was great. Well, it's on that note though that we have to we are at the top of the hour, and another episode is done. We'll be of course staying online for another 20 minutes to do the question and answer. But for those of you who have to leave us, just remember on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, Hewie, Bob, and I are having a little chat over coffee. And as you saw earlier, I like to talk. So so does Bob and Hewie. So we have a big fight over who can talk the most. But on Thursday morning, you get to talk too. You know, your comments, we put them up. We're really concerned about them. We will address them, and it's great. We have a lot of fun doing it. And of those of you who have Chromebooks, and you want to learn a little, or you want to learn a little bit more about Chromebooks, I'm going to be talking about a Chrome box this Thursday as well on our Chromebook session. So come and have a chat with us there. Otherwise, we will see everybody back next week, same time, same place, same everything. I will mention one thing, and I was remiss if I didn't mention this, but I want to thank Ellen Farnham. Ellen is an unbelievably great person, and I haven't met her yet, and I'm going to be talking to her this week. What she's done is she's taken all 52 or 55 episodes of Tech for Seniors, and she's indexed them all in a spreadsheet. And she has all the different sections all there, so they're all searchable. And I want to thank Ellen for doing that. That unbelievable. I mean, so now the whole problem of being able to search this is solved. And so that is great because we have a lot of episodes now. And thank you so much for doing that, Ellen. We'll talk to I'll be talking to you this week. How we present that to you and how we update it, we haven't sort of worked all that out, but stay tuned on that. But just let you know that that it is available and coming. All right. So as far as the question and answers now, as you know, there's just under 100 people still online here. So if you want to ask a question or talk to us, please hit the raise your hand button. And if you can't, well, I guess you can scream or yell or jump up and down or something, but I can't see you because we've got so many screens. So anyway, we'll try and get you somehow on here. And Jim, we'll start with you in the first question. Unmute yourself, Jim.
I should post the links for the coffee clutch Thursday and the Chromebook one. I've got that one, but I haven't had my coffee yet, so I really could use the link.
I will have a look at that. Is it not on our website? I'll have a look at that. I know that it's in the newsletter, but I didn't. I'll have to check and see if it's on the. I'll see if it's on the website.
Okay.
But it will be. Let me see. If you go to our Facebook, well, it will be on our. So here's the deal. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll see it's already booked. It's actually on our Facebook page, and you can watch it on Facebook. Or if you go to our YouTube channel, where all our stuff is on YouTube, you'll see it as an advertised Thursday morning meeting, and just click that link. So it's already there now with saying it's an upcoming meeting. So you'll see it right on our YouTube channel, or you'll see it on our Facebook page as well.
There is no Zoom link.
Right, it's not a Zoom meeting. All right, let's see. COL, I'm not sure who COL is.
It's me.
Colleen.
Colleen.
Yes. I have a question. I'm in another county, but I need some tutoring, like one-on-one. I'm like in the Spring Hill area, Hernando County. Is there anybody that you could suggest that I could get some, of course, paid for tutoring on someone who really knows what they're doing? Okay. Not just some novice like we have around here.
What do you want tutoring on though?
Well, there's some things that learning how to download some items from a class that I'm taking. Some of it's a little bit advanced, and it's online. So we don't have any, one to ask, oh, could you help me out, or go to a class and so on. So the class is actually 3 counties away from me. So I'm just wondering, have anybody like in Pasco, Hernando, or Sumter, or Citrus County closer in to me?
That's in Florida. I'm not too far down the road from you, Colleen. You and I have chatted a little bit. I'll touch base with you. We might be able to do something through Zoom and I can show you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Murray.
Hi, I just wanted to mention on virtual reality, I put a couple things in the chat area, but one of the things that was really cool when I first got my first job at NRC as a summer student. My first job was to take a Link trainer that had come in all parts, get it put back together, and get it to work. And that was my first experience. Well, other than the Viewmaster, of course, my brother and sister got into trouble with the Viewmaster because they started. Somebody's got some music on. Thank you.
I just muted him.
Okay. Anyway, my brother and sister got into trouble because they were going into the Eaton's department store, which was a big department chain in Canada, and they were charging my mother's account for buying Viewmaster reels. So those are my main comments. I was really glad I was able to switch over. I had a meeting at 8:30. I didn't want to get locked out of this one. So I joined this one on my iPhone. But then when the other meeting was over, I was actually, after 3 tries, able to get into it on my old obsolete Mac, which is a lot better computer for doing this. Anyway.
Thanks, Murray.
Thank you.
Thanks, Murray. Bill.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was wondering if anyone had learned any more on the glucose monitoring watches.
Good question. There's a lot happening. We actually haven't seen the watches yet. I have a new video that's out. Have you seen the video that's out? Did I play it last week? Maybe did I play the update last week? I can't remember.
The one with Chris and Jim?
Yeah, that's right. That's the latest that's out.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, that's the latest that's out. I mean, they're all coming, but we haven't actually seen the watches yet. And they're all just working feverishly to get them out. But I will certainly be posting the latest stuff about them as soon as they come on the market.
Super. Be looking for it.
You bet. Thanks.
Thank you.
Caitlin. Caitlin, you need to unmute. Just hit the space bar. We still have you muted.
If you're on a computer, hold down your space. There we go.
I think I got it now.
You got it. There you go.
Okay, it's on antiviral software. I've been subscribing to Norton and it's about to expire. I don't think I want to renew it. And I'm wondering if Avast is a good substitute.
Certainly, according to my book.
Did Bob pay you? Caitlin, did Bob pay you for this?
No, but I listened to him and, I have faith in him. And if he says that it'll take care of most things, and I use the Edge browser and apparently there's a built-in protection there also, which I assume.
Edge browser doesn't give you virus protection on your system. You need an antivirus program. But when your subscription runs out, actually before it runs out, you need to totally remove what you currently have before you can install something else. I'm going to put a link in the chat that will give you instructions on how to remove what you currently have before you install something else. Hopefully I've asked, but you need those instructions no matter what you change over to.
Okay.
Okay, give me a couple of minutes to get it together.
Thank you.
Norton is famous for the fact that it's difficult to get all of it off. If you just go and do the uninstall, it's going to leave pieces and parts all over your computer. And so I think what Bob's going to give you is some links that'll tell you how to run a removal of the Norton items. Is that correct, Bob?
That's exactly right.
And that's a
Okay.
problem with a lot of programs. You got to watch out. A lot of them will, if you download a program, it will want to install Norton for you, whether you want it or not. And if you're not careful and don't make sure you opt out of that, you'll end up with Norton on there again.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
another, go ahead. Sorry, Caitlin, go ahead.
No, they keep sending me messages. It's about to expire and I'm afraid to click the link because I'm afraid it will automatically mean yes. You know, the fact that I clicked on it.
No, you want to remove it first.
Right. And then tell them that I don't want it.
You also want to check your account with them. You may have automatic renewal checked when you bought it, and you want to make
Right.
sure that it doesn't automatically charge your account without you saying okay.
Yeah, I asked them not to automatically renew it last year. So hopefully they're abiding by that. And that's why I keep getting these alerts that I'm about to expire. I assume they want me to make that decision right now. So I only have 2 more days to go. So hopefully that's enough time to do this. Thank
Is
you.
it still valid to Google for an antivirus removal tool for? a
You'll
particular
find
antivirus?
you'll find it posted in the chat now. Okay, how to
Okay.
successfully install Avast, and that has the tools in it, how to remove any current antivirus program, including Norton. My
Okay.
tutorial doesn't only include Norton, it has many others, but the Norton tool will remove Norton or Symantec.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Greg, how is Starlink doing? Can you give us an update on Starlink?
Yeah, I just scanned it. I did 3 scans. They run anywhere from 158 to 312.
Oh, really? So it's getting faster.
Well, yeah, this last couple of days, they've been updating a lot of their systems. And so it's really cooking right along.
So did you see the article this morning that was out? Someone, Bell, which is a big company in Centre Canada that has a lot of the mobile equipment, someone sent they got Starlink and they set it up and they sent all their old Bell equipment back in a Starlink box.
I didn't see that. We saw on our news today, this morning, that Tesla, with his cars, he is going to build an underground tunnel in Las Vegas and have people drive the Tesla cars in between the casinos instead of using a taxi.
Good Lord.
It's 11-mile tunnel.
Yeah. Interesting.
They've done 5 liftoffs within a month of 60 satellites each. So they're starting to get some good numbers of satellites up there to get towards their goals, to be able to reach more and more of us. And there's been some articles, and Ron and I and Bob will probably chat a little bit about the fact that they're charging, even though they're charging $500 for the dish, it's considerably less than what it costs them to build them.
But anyway, just keep in mind, when he sends a satellite into outer space, he brings it back and they reuse that.
Yeah,
I just read today he is going to be ceasing that process, if I understand correctly.
Yep, and unfortunately, and the astronomers are not happy at all.
By the way, I might mention that last night our son and daughter-in-law took us out to eat at a restaurant in Boulder, Colorado called The Kitchen, which is owned by Elon Musk's younger brother, Kimball Musk. In fact, he's quite a successful entrepreneur in many different ways. So
Must run in the jeans, eh? What do you think, Dewey? Must run in the jeans?
Yep.
I would think so. As a matter of fact, had a $60 steak last night, something I've never had before in my life.
Hey, was it worth it? Was it worth
I
it?
sure hope, I
$60?
hope it was tender.
It's pretty darn good steak.
And I
Hope
hope it
so.
wasn't an 8-ounce. I hope it wasn't an 8-ounce steak.
It was quite big, more than I can eat. I'm going to be enjoying the rest of it the next several days.
I'd hope
Caitlin,
so
is
for
your
that price.
Caitlin, is your hand up again, or did you not put it down?
All right. Well, if
I just wanted to add something about a steak. There used to be a fantastic steakhouse across the river from Pembroke in Quebec. Fred's, I think it was called, Fred's Hotel. And you could get a 16-ounce T-bone steak for, I don't know, something like $10. And they were all really good, but they had a joke thing for first-time visitors. He had all kinds of pictures of things up around the walls. And anyway, they'd ask if you wanted to see his, he had in his freezer preserved a silver beaver. And if they would ask you if you were a new customer, if you wanted to see the silver beaver, and they would make a big, and then if you did, they'd make a big show of taking you into the freezer, then carefully pulling out this tray to show you the silver beaver. And when it opened it up, it was a Canadian nickel with a beaver on the back. And at that point, bells would ring everywhere to show they got another one.
Thanks, Murray. All right, everyone. If just to remind you, come and have coffee with us on Thursday morning. If you you only need to come to our channel, come to the YouTube channel, or else come to Facebook, and you'll see it. You'll see us. It's not a Zoom meeting, so you don't need a specific link. And then, Hewie, you're going to be sending out the Chromebook notifications today?
Yep. Shortly after this meeting's over with.
Very good. So thank you, Hewie. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Ray and Dewey. Say hello to Joanne for us.
We will. We're going to be going out to a P.F. Chang's restaurant in Windsor, Colorado, shortly.
All right, there you go. All right. Well, we'll see everyone next week. Have a great week. Bye now.
Sorry, Dorothy.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.